Hi guys, welcome to Grant's Farm. My name's Amy Trout and I'm the assistant animal curator here at the farm. I've been here for 10 years. Today I'm going to take you guys on an awesome adventure. We're going to go out in the deer park and I'm going to show you some of the animals and all the activities that go on at the farm. If you have a question or you're interested in a specific animal, you can always reach out to us on our Facebook page or you can tweet us at #AskGrantsFarm. Come on for the ride. So we're getting ready to head out into the deer park on our deer park safari vehicle, where we're going to get up close and personal with the bovines at Grant's Farm. We'll see the water buffalo, the bison, the yak, and some of our domesticated cattle. Come on, let's go for a ride. The deer park, which is about 150 acres in the middle of St. Louis County. And we've come across our first bovines of the day. These are our water buffalo. As you can tell, these guys are pretty friendly. They're super sweet. There's actually two species of water buffalo, the river and the swamp buffalo. These are all swamp buffalo. These guys are actually native to Southeast Asia. These are one of the first domesticated breeds of bovines. And so these guys were used to work the rice fields and do all kinds of farm work. Their hooves are actually a little bit wider based than the other cattle that we have here. And so if you think about a Clydesdale hoof of being like a monster kind of a hoof, these guys' feet are really not that different. And that's because they're actually made to walk in that swampy, wet kind of terrain. You may notice that some of these girls are just covered in mud from head to toe, and that's kind of nature's way of protecting them from the sun. So you guys know if you go swimming, or maybe you spend a little too much time in the bathtub, you know how your fingers get kind of wrinkled up? Well, that doesn't happen to these guys because they were actually designed to withstand a lot of the exposure to water. So if you come out to Grant's Farm on a really warm, sunny, hot summer day, you're gonna find these guys are hanging out in one of the ponds at Grant's Farm. These guys can grow to about 1,600 pounds and they have an 11-month gestation period. So a gestation period means how long it takes for them to have a baby. All of these guys have been bred, so we're hoping that in about 11 months, we'll have 4 little water buffalo babies running around. So even though these guys appear to have a very laid-back demeanor, you always have to be careful around animals. See how she just tossed her head like that? You always have to be careful because you never know what might upset them. Now these girls are maidens, so that means they've never had a baby yet. So their nature is probably going to change quite a bit when they do decide to have babies because they're going to become a lot more protective of their calves. And so we probably won't be able to come out here and pet on them like we are right now when they have babies. These kind of guys are really some of my favorite animals in the park. Even water buffalo like a little chin scratch. Aren't you a good girl? Yes, you are. So now we're rolling up on animal number 2. These are the bison. These are the only species of wild bovines that are native to North America. So one misconception of our bison is people refer to them as buffalo. That's incorrect. There's only a couple of types of buffalo. One you've already seen today, the water buffalo, and then the Cape buffalo of Africa are the true buffaloes of the world. These are bison. We've got a few females and 1 bull out here, and he's actually a wood bison. The rest of these are plains bison. So there's actually 2 species of bison in the United States. So when full grown, the male bison will reach between 1,600 and 1,700 pounds. Females typically reach about 1,200 pounds. Their gestation period is about 9 months long, and typically they breed in July and have babies every May. So when a baby bison is born, they're known as a calf. If it's a female, we'll refer to them as a heifer. If they're a boy, we'll refer to them as a bull. And that is the same across all the species of bovines. The bison have a unique way of foraging in the wintertime. They use their big heads and their horns to actually sweep the snow side to side so they can get to the grass that's buried deep under the snow. We don't see a lot of snow here in Missouri, but where you do see a lot of buffalo up in Yellowstone, the snow gets really deep. And so it's one of the important tools for them to survive the harsh winters. So the bison's coat is pretty long and shaggy in the winter. But right now, as it's starting to warm up in mid-Missouri, they're starting to lose some of that winter coat. So you might notice around their necks and around their heads, you'll see where it looks like fur is kind of peeling off of them. And that's normal. So they're starting to shed their winter coat and get ready for the hot summer that's coming. So the bison's hooves are not wide like the water buffalo. These guys are more likely to be found on the plains and in wooded areas. They're certainly not going to be found in swampy areas like our water buffalo were. Typically you'll see herds out in the plains. There may be hundreds of animals in one group together. And that's how they survive. They protect their young by surrounding them if predators are trying to get after them. They don't have the greatest vision or sense of smell in the world, but they stick together, and that's how they survive. So now join us as we head on up to the vista, and we're gonna meet the cattle and the yak. So this is feeding time. This is one of the most important times of the day for our deer park crew, because this is when all the animals come up to eat, and it gives us a chance to get a good visual on all the animals and make sure everything is happy and healthy out here. Even though we have 150 acres, it's not enough property to sustain all of these animals. So we have to provide some supplement nutrition for them. So that's where this ADF 25 meets all of the animals' macro and micronutrients. So it's really like a one-a-day multivitamin that you guys might take at home every day. Right in front of me are our yak herd. So the black and white guy standing directly in front of me is the bull or the male of our herd. And we have 4 females that are a little darker in color that are hanging out here as well. Now, there are still a few yak left wild in the world, and they're found typically in northern Tibet. They really like the plateau, they like the high elevations, they really like the cold weather. And so you can see how long and shaggy their coats are, and that's so they can survive those really harsh climates. Now, yaks, like the water buffalo, have been domesticated for thousands of years. So there are a lot of farms that just raise yak for a variety of reasons. So the cattle at Grant's farm, we've kind of got a good variety of breeds of cattle. This girl right here, number 35, she's actually a Scotch Highlander crossed with a Longhorn. We've got a belted Galloway, we have some Longhorns, we also have some Watusis. A lot of people call them ANKOLE cattle. They come from Africa, and they're native to a very, very hot climate. So a lot of people ask why they have these monster horns. Well, those horns actually help to radiate heat out of their body and regulate their body temperature so they don't get overheated in that really hot climate. So now that we've had a chance to meet all the bovines in the deer park and learn all those great facts about them, it's time to head back to the Tear Garden. So let's review the animals that we learned about today: the water buffalo, the bison, the yak, and our domesticated cattle. As we met our water buffalo today, a few of the fun facts to remember about them is that they have really wide feet to help maintain their balance when they're walking through that swampy terrain. They also have really unique skin that allows them to stay in the water for long periods of time without getting wrinkly like we would. And they also bathe themselves in mud to help protect themselves from the dangerous UV rays of the sun. The second animal we saw this morning was the bison, not to be confused with the buffalo. The American bison is the only bovine species native to North America. Now there's 2 different types of bison, one being the wood bison, the other being the plains bison. Another fun fact about the bison is that they're able to use their giant heads in the wintertime to clear snow out of the way so they can graze at the forage underneath. So the third animal we learned about this morning was the yak. The yaks are unique because they're native to northern China. They like the high elevation, the high plateaus of the Himalayan mountains. They're an animal that's been domesticated for thousands of years. They were considered a dual-purpose breed because we were able to use them for not only work, but also they provided a great source of nutrition in their milk. And here at the farm, you're gonna see a variety of breeds of cattle. We've got a belted Galloway, we have some Longhorns, we also have some Watusis. A lot of people call them ANKOLE cattle, and their horns actually help to radiate heat out of their body and regulate their body temperature. Hey guys, thanks for joining us. I really had a great time taking you out into the deer park and introducing you to all of our bovines at Grant's Farm. If you have any questions about what you saw today, you can reach out to us on our Facebook page, or you can tweet us at #AskGrantsFarm. If you're interested in booking your own deer park safari tour for your family or your friends, go visit our website at grantsfarm.com. We hope to hear from you soon. If there's an animal that you know we have at Grant's Farm that you'd like to learn more about, just reach out to us on Facebook or Twitter and ask us, and we'll try to feature them in an upcoming episode. I'm Amy Trout. We'll see you next time.